Hi Math B Readiness. This is your notes for today, Thursday. I'm actually here on campus, just not here to teach you this, so I'm recording this for you guys. The classwork today is just going to be a handout that you're getting, so you should actually already have this. Make sure you're on the right page, page 1 of 2. Alright, so you guys are really familiar with this equation by now, y equals mx plus b. I know what you know that it stands for, and if you say it out loud, I hope you know that m doesn't mean mama and b doesn't mean boyfriend. It means slope and y-intercept. And if you see it written like that, it's called slope-intercept form. Alright, so let's compare this problem here. Number 1, it says rewrite these in slope-intercept form, then find m and b. So compare number 1 to this form here. Well, obviously y equals is the same as y equals, but do you see that these are switched, right? They're in the wrong spot. So to make it look like this, all you got to do is rewrite it as y equals, instead of 3 plus 2x, you write 2x plus 3. Now it looks just like that. And that tells you, of course, that 2 is the slope and 3 is the y-intercept. Piece of cake. Easy, right? All right. Problem number 2 looks a little trickier, but it's actually the same thing. Look, instead of the y equals on this side, it's just on this side. So just write what you see. So y equals. Now, what do you want to come first? Do you want this x to come first or the plain number? And of course you know from this right here that you want the x to come first. So the x is positive, so you just write x, and you know that there's actually an invisible 1 there, so 1x. And you see that it's negative 1 plus. Well, isn't that the same as this negative 1 is the same as minus 1? So now that tells us that our slope is 1, and our y-intercept, the number that's being added, is negative 1. Any questions on that? I hope not. It's really pretty straightforward. Okay, so let's move on to what you're actually going to be doing today on your homework. So the following equations do not have y isolated. That keyword means by itself. Like if I wanted to isolate one of you, I'd put you off in the corner and have you by yourself. And it says you should know how to do that. Well, you do. You actually do know how to do that. So let me take a look at this first problem, number 3. And by the way, there is a grammatical error in this question here. See if you can figure it out. Hopefully you decided that it should have an S after the word need here. So what needs to go away to get y by itself? So notice this first equation, 4y equals 8x plus 12. Obviously y isn't by itself, like we want it to be, like we want it to be, like we want it to be. So what's wrong with it? What needs to go away to get y by itself? Well, the 4 needs to go away. Well, how do you do that? What is 4y? What does that actually mean you're doing to the y? Doesn't it mean that you are multiplying? Well, obviously the opposite of multiplying is dividing. Divide everything. Please write this word, everything, by what number is multiplying y? By 4. So now that you go ahead and divide everything by 4, and you're just going to do that with a fraction bar, you divide everything by 4. Whatever you see, anything in these 3 terms that needs to be divided then to get y by itself. So you get 4 over 4 is 1, which is just y, like we want it. Now 8 divided by 4 can simplify. 8 over 4 is really 2, isn't it? Don't forget the x, plus 12 divided by 4 is 3. Now, isn't this in slope-intercept form? Isn't y by itself? As a matter of fact, isn't it the exact same equation as this one right here? It is. Okay. Let's try number 4. So check out number 4. Obviously, this doesn't say y equals. It says y plus 2x. Well, what needs to go away to get y by itself? Hopefully, you see that you have a plus 2x on this side of the equal sign. So how would I get, in any regular equation, if I wanted to move positive 2x to the other side, how would I cancel these out? And you guys should know how to do that. So let's answer this question first. What needs to go away to get x by itself? The 2x needs to go away. How do you do that? Well, this is where I was talking about earlier. How do I get positive 2x to cancel out? Well, you subtract 2x from both sides. So you're going to subtract 2x from both sides. So write this statement here. Subtract 2x from both sides. Right? And then actually show that you're subtracting 2x from both sides. And the reason that, of course, works is because 2x and negative 2x cancel out. What's left over here? Just y. Equals. Now, over here, you have 6 minus 2x. Well, hopefully you recognize that those are not like terms. You can't take 6 minus 2x and get something like 4x. This has an x, this doesn't. With algebra tiles, these are different tiles. So guys, what you're going to do is just write what you see. Except the trick is you want it to look like this. So, having said that, the number that has the x in front of it is negative 2x. And then what's left is 6. Well, clearly that's a positive 6, so you just write plus 6. And now I'm just going to erase this little line here, the distractor. So you have y equals negative 2x plus 6. All right, let's try the last one here. This one has lots of stuff going on in it compared to the last two. Again, there's an s in needs. What needs to go away to get y by itself? Well, notice I have 2 blank spots here. Hopefully you recognize that y not only has a number multiplying it, but it also has this negative 2x in here. So basically, I just answered the question for you. What needs to go away to get y by itself? Well, 3 needs to go away, and negative 2x needs to go away. So basically, if I put my finger right there, see how that 3 makes the y by itself? And then if I do that, now I got y by itself. Well, how do I do that? Well, first I'm going to do this. And I'd like you to do the same thing. Let's switch the order of this. Negative 2x and 3. Now, it's the same thing. I just put it in a different order, and you're going to see why in just a second. Well, when we're solving regular equations, if I wanted to solve this equation, wouldn't I add stuff before I divide? And that's kind of why I switched the order of this. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to get rid of this negative 2x. You're going to add 2x to both sides. So once I do that, let's see what we got. Add 2x to both sides. Well, the negative 2x and 2x cancel like they're supposed to, but I don't have y over here, I have 3y equals. And again, I could write, please don't add those together, those aren't like terms. 12 plus 2x can't be added together. But I'd like to write the number with the x first because that's in slope-intercept form. So you write 2x plus 12 because they're both positive. Now clearly y isn't by itself. But if you compare that to number 3 up here, see how it's 4y? Well, here it's 3y, so guess what you're going to do to everything? And that's what we're going to write in this step. So first we added 2x to both sides, then we're going to, what am I doing? Divide everything by what number? 3. Well, here we go. 3 over 3 simplifies to just 1y equals. Now, 2 over 3. You can't divide that, simplify that. It's just a fraction. As a matter of fact, it's a slope. It's a rise and a run. So leave it as 2/3. Don't forget your x. Plus, 12 over 3 can be simplified to 4. And now you have isolated y. You got y by itself. And you could see that this would be the slope, that would be the slope, and that would be the y-intercept. Okay. So now I'm going to ask the teacher to press pause while you guys try number 6, 7, and 8 by yourselves with his or her help, trying to get y by itself. So your answer is going to be y equals something x plus something. So try these 3 problems. Press pause now, and then I'm going to show you the answers and go through them after you guys have had a few minutes to work through these together. Okay, so hopefully you've had a chance to look through all 3 of these. Here are your answers to all 3, and then I'll quickly talk about how we got them. So number 6, you had to add 3x to both sides, and then you just write what you see in the correct order. Y equals 3x plus 4. Number 7, the negative 2 is multiplying the y, so you had to divide everything by negative 2. And that's just the trick there, is to keep track of the signs. So negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1y, which is what we want. Negative divided by a negative is a positive 2. And 10 divided by 2 is 5, and they're both negative, so it's positive 5. And then number 8 had 2 steps. Just like number 5 here, you have to subtract 2x from both sides, so you end up with 4y equals negative 2x plus 8, negative 2x plus 8, what you see here. And then you divide everything by 4, and the only thing that's tricky about this is that this is still a fraction. Negative 2/4 simplifies to negative 1/2, and 8 over 4 is 2. So hopefully you got those right. Ask for help if you need them. We're going to watch the second video after and do the second page in just a moment.